Welcome to the second installment of the one-sheet canoe build. It's a 12-foot Flywood model designed by Flomo. I'm using a 3mm plywood with maple veneer on only one face, and due to the unique nesting arrangement that allows all the panels to fit on a single sheet, one does not end up with perfect mirrored parts. Unfortunately, the plywood also has a tendency to curl in one direction, which results in asymmetric flex on the hull. So what I'm going to have to do is to disassemble this hull and cut a second set in reverse on another sheet, which will give me two sets from which I can then build two perfectly symmetrical canoes. Right, here you can see just how efficient the nesting is in utilizing virtually every square inch of available wood. This right here is the new sheet, and I've laid down the panels as they were nested. When you draw and mark out the panels using Flomo's offsets, a lot of these lines are single cuts. There's absolutely no space between the parts, which does require very careful cutting and using a very thin blade. Each half, port and starboard, now consists of three separate parts. One long panel, top side, and a shorter panel. And before I can stitch these all together into a whole, I first need to join each half into a complete unit. I'll do that by aligning the top side with that wing on the long panel, and I'll join the bottom panels on that seam over there. To ensure that I get good symmetry between port and starboard panels once they are fully joined, I'm going to do it all in one go, stacked on top of each other. So I'll be flipping this one over there. I'll fix these two once they are properly aligned somewhere in this vicinity so that I can still pick these edges up that need to be joined. Similar over here. I'll screw this down with drywall screws. That will allow me to work on both edges over here. I'm going to do it with glass tape, forming a butt joint. I'll film the process for one of these seams just to give you an idea of the sequence. Here is the long bottom panel and the two top sides stacked on top of each other. I've aligned them properly and fixed them with drywall screws further away from the seam so that I can still work here. The sequence to join these parts would be to add a bit of plastic at the bottom to make sure I don't get epoxy on the workbench. Then I'll add a piece of glass Get that in position, wet it out with epoxy. Press down the panel over there. Lower that panel over there. And to complete that butt joint, I'm going to add another piece of glass. Get that full of epoxy. And then we'll separate the two butt joints with a piece of plastic. That's going to get another piece of glass. Epoxy. Squeeze that down. Squeeze that down. Glass. Epoxy. And then finally just a piece of plastic and some pressure. And that's how we're going to leave the two joints to cure.